Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Neslyn, your passion show host, and it's again another beautiful summer's morning in London. This morning, I have for you my wonderful guest by the name of Helen Nichols. And Helen will introduce herself. I'm going to say just a little bit about her. She is an intuitive coach, and she is someone that who coaches me when I have really got my head in a muddle. So she helps me to see the wood from the trees. And I'd love you to learn more about Helen. What Helen does is she enables you to have the courage to step into your power. So I'll just say a little bit about courage. When I say courage, I mean the ability to really face down your imaginary fears and reclaim your power. And courage is so important because it is the very first step in leadership and in you leading your life powerfully. You really have to have courage. So, Helen, good morning to you.
Good morning, Neslyn. It's a pleasure to be connecting with you this morning.
Perfect. So, Helen, introduce yourself to our audience. And you need to know that you are being broadcast around the world.
Good morning, world. How beautiful it is to be sharing with you this morning, this connection with Neslyn, and in fact, of course, the connection that we each have in our oneness. I'm a healer, a spiritual healer, a medium, and as Neslyn has said, I also work as an intuitive coach. I work with guides who connect me with whoever it is I work with, and we strive to enable somebody who may have hit an impasse or have lowered their vibration in fear or uncertainty, and we work for the highest good always of whoever it is to enable them to step up and step forward.
Brilliant. So, Helen, what are you passionate about?
Well, I'm passionate about many things. Obviously, all of the obvious things, the absolute beauty of simplicity, a gorgeous sunrise or a sunset. I love being out in nature and feeling that connectedness. That's very important to me. Where I'm from, the part of the world that I'm from in South Wales, has extraordinarily beautiful areas, and there's a particular beach that I feel very strongly drawn to. And I feel when I'm there, I can connect and plug in and really be fully present. In terms of my work, I'm passionate about making a difference. I'm passionate about helping people to remember who they are in their truth, about enabling them to connect back to that truth, and therefore to be the absolutely beautiful, shining beings that we are on earth.
You know, our leaders, Barry and Marina often talks about us being stardust and us shining, and the very true nature of our being is always excellence and connectedness with everyone else. And you remind me how important it is for us to know that we are all connected and that we are one. Is there anything else you'd like to say about us being connected and our oneness?
Well, my belief is that we our true being, the very core of us, is infinite, and we come from the light. We are part of that light. That light shines within us, within our hearts. That's where our truth lives. And we are always connected to that light. And we return to that light when we have done our work here on Earth plane. And so therefore I see that we in fact are all part of the same light, and we are all connected at all times, even if often it feels as though we are not, and we can feel disconnected. And certainly with my clients, some of them report that sense of disconnection, and part of the work in that situation would be to bring them back to their truth and their light, helping them see that they are entirely part of the oneness as we all are.
How absolutely beautiful. I just need to take that in a little bit longer. And you know, as you spoke, and I think of what Marina does in opening up the space and providing the environment for people to be their best without competing with each other, just being their best. And I heard someone made a comment recently about Marina's event, you know, at the Make the News. Marina has Make the News over the world and Make the News London. And someone commented and said, you know, for the first time, and I have been going to many, many, many seminars, for the first time I came into a room and I feel as if each person was just there to support the other. And I think it is just so beautiful when I link that with what you have just shared. You're very much a Stardust. You're part of a family that we believe in. You know, yesterday morning I was preparing and food and for guests, and I just love preparation of food and sharing food. It's one of the things that actually makes my heart sing along with gardening. What is it that makes your heart sing?
Oh gosh, that's a lovely question. Actually, music really makes my heart sing. Seeing, I think really importantly, seeing somebody come back to themselves. I remember 13 or 14 years ago when I first I first came to healing. I began with Reiki, and it was a very odd story about how Reiki found me, as it often does with people. And it's a funny story where I was having a beauty treatment, and I hadn't had that before in that particular place. And this lady said to me, I was reading the leaflet, and she had this information about Reiki on, and I asked her to explain what it was, and she explained this beautiful universal energy. And she said to me, you know, you can do this. And I was just like, I've never even heard of it. How do you know? And she just, I know. And there was just this beautiful moment where I felt that she had witnessed me. And I think that's very important, that feeling of being witnessed. And eventually I persuaded her to teach me. And the very first day that we did this training, if you like, not really the right word for it, but this kind of engaging with this healing energy, I came away from it and I felt for the very first time as though I had come home. I felt that I belonged. I understood where I was in the world, and the sense of comfort that I had in that place remains with me. And so what I feel very strongly about is helping people to find that place in themselves, I can remember very, very powerfully the beautiful lady that taught me, Dominique, a very beautiful spiritual soul, and who I have so much to thank for. But I remember more than anything that sense of, this is who I am and this is what I am for. And I feel that there's something very important about, it becomes increasingly important, I think, as you get older, having a sense of, what are you for? What are you here for? What are we here for? And that we have so many different ways of being of service to the world, but I feel that everybody has their place in that, and helping people to see their truth and find their way home to what they're here for, and they can feel that comfort as well. I think that's really what I aim to do.
Oh, how beautiful. You are such a wonderful soul. So you shared with us one person who has been influential in your life and how Reiki found you. Who else has been influential in your life?
Many people, of course, is the answer. Everybody in some way, whether they leave you with the impact of learning and understanding yourself from a challenge that they present to you with, and that there have been plenty of those for me. But I have been very blessed with a loving and a beautifully supportive family and an extended family. Many kind of colleagues, if you like, in my healing and spiritual work and my mediumship. My guides that work through me, the team, the beautiful team that I had a briefing with, my spiritual team earlier. Every single client that places their trust, it's as you will also well know, Neslyn, an incredible privilege to be given the opportunity for someone to work with you on that level of trust. Because in the work that we do, people reveal themselves in their all. So every client that has placed me in that position of trust, that we may share our light with each other. Thank you. That's a lovely question.
Whenever I have spent time with you, Helen, I am always left with a deep sense of gratitude emanating from you, that you are a woman who personifies gratitude. What are you grateful? What are you most grateful for?
I'm grateful for being here every day. And there was an amazing coach that I worked with when I was back in Swansea, and it was a lady called Joy, and we worked together on equality and diversity work, if you like. One of the things that I found very infectious from her, and her purpose was joy, her name was most appropriate, was that gift of waking up every morning. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for those who have guided me to the path that I am on. The teachers and the loved one that I lost, who enabled me to see things from a different perspective, who enabled me to open my eyes to different possibilities, and who left me with the gift of this work that I now do, which I know and understand was part of our soul contract. So I'm very grateful for the loving gift that he left me, which is this work. But I'm grateful for being able to do this. I'm very, very grateful for having that sense, as I talked a little earlier, about finding my way home, finding myself fully or more fully reconnected to the light, to the joy, to the sense of oneness that we all share, and the absolute peace that comes with that. I'm also grateful for dark chocolate at times as well, I think I should add.
You can hear me giggling there in the background. How good. I will remember that, Helen.
and a cup of tea in the morning made by someone else, I'm very grateful for. I'm grateful for my beautiful partner, particularly, who have waited a very long time. We have waited a very long time to find each other, and it's a beautiful connection, and I'm hugely grateful for his witnessing of me and his encouragement and support. I must mention him because of my gratitude for him. Thank you.
Well, we both send him unconditional love and support in all his radiance and magnificence. You know, Marina will love this interview because Marina talks about her gratitude for life, and each day is her birthday. You know, she's just a joyful spirit, and she says, every day is my birthday, and she celebrates every day as her birthday. So Helen, with all this gratitude and deep connection that you have and your love for humanity, what legacy do you want to leave in the world?
Wow. I think really it's the same on a basic level as everybody else wants to. I think it's that we have come here to make a difference. It comes fundamentally down to that. It comes to the simplicity of having touched Earth and having left it better each time we do so, and connecting with people in the way that you and I do. We come from that very deeply within our hearts, and we know that is purpose work. And it's, as I said, that trust. I'm looking at some preparation work that my partner and I have done, and I see these notes in front of me, and being of service, sharing how we see the world, creating potential in people, or enabling, more importantly, potential. And I'm looking at the word potential now, and the beginning part of that word is potent, strong, transforming, understanding and helping people on their journey, and knowing that they have I've seen a light come back in. It's always present, but it's there. And when you see that moment in someone's face where the light shines brighter, there's just a moment where you see that light shine through. I want that light to shine brighter in the world for all of our connections, one-to-one, that lights the whole world stronger and brighter.
Wow. And when that happens, there will be such a lot of stardust. And
we are the firmament.
The galaxies will shine when we, more when we are all shining. And the galaxies will smile and dance because, you know, the galaxies are waiting for us to wake up.
I know.
So, oh my gosh, you are just such a gift to humanity. So, and you always speak about service and potential. What does service mean to you, my beautiful sister?
It means that we understand that we are here to offer. We are here to offer who we are, what we are for, what we are about to others and to the universe, to humanity, to our world. We have here service, not serving. It's not, there's a subtle difference. We are not enslaved to this. We give that offering freely from our heart. And I feel that there's a as we all know, those of us who are connected to this work, we sense and totally understand this shifting, raising vibration of consciousness in the world. And I feel that there are more people now whose lights are coming on stronger, who understand that they can offer something. They can be of service to the greater good of all of us. The beautiful Marianne Williamson, I really just want to mention, who I find very inspiring. You know, it is not our darkness of which we are most afraid, it is our light. And so helping people overcome their fear of being their bright, shining self is what lights that touch paper. It's what lights us all up. And I think people, I sense and I feel that people understand that they can and have something of beauty and joy in themselves that they offer, and they offer with gratitude, and they offer it freely. So for me, that is service. It's offered with an open heart and with integrity.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. That's very beautiful, open heart, and with the light shining. And you have often reminded me when I'm with you about the importance of trusting and listening to my heart, not my head, listening to my heart. How do you know when you're listening to your heart?
Well, I think along my journey through this work, and my encouragement to those who are more recently stepping onto the path, actually one of the biggest obstacles that our ego, the ego part of us, not the truth, the higher self, places in our way is that of learning to trust. It is the biggest obstacle. And once you have learned to work through that, then the rest of it flows much more comfortably and easily. How do you know when you're listening to your heart? How do you learn to trust?
Yes.
I think, well, it feels there's a quality of information that feels different. I can only speak about my personal experience of it. I work as a clairsentient, so I receive information as a knowing in my body. And I think it's understanding how others receive that information. So trying to ascertain from them how they receive information. But there's a quality, there's a resonance, there's a vibration, there's a peace, there's a comfort that comes with knowing that you have connected to your heart truth, and that what you are in strongest contact with is that, rather than that quiet voice which sometimes gets louder and sometimes gets quite shouty, and I talk about it in those terms. The ego, I think, you and I both work quite significantly with women and helping women to step up and be the best version of themselves that they can be, the powerhouse of the female energy in transforming the world. And I think very often, though it is changing and there is some, resistance to it, women are, as girls, are not brought up in the same way to find their voice, to speak up or step up. We're often closed down, and there's conditioning that disables rather than enables. So it's undoing that stuff, and it can happen very quickly when someone is ready, simply to literally switch back the other way, switch back into this is who you are, and helping somebody to see the extraordinary beauty of their soul and their truth, so that they feel themselves once more. They feel who they are in their truth once more. I feel, just there's a quality of vibration, I think, is the simplest way of describing it, and a peace that comes with knowing that it is your heart that speaks to you, your soul being that speaks to you, your truth that speaks to you, rather than this conditioned part of us that we need to politely tell to back off from time to time.
Some years ago, I, in my meditation, I was seeking clarity to this very answer. How do I know that what is coming to me is coming from my heart that knows, my heart that is connected at a higher level? And I asked the spirit, I said, how will I know? And the spirit said to me, well, when you ask the question, is this from spirit and from the light, spirit will always answer you. If it is coming from your ego cannot answer. And
yes.
I found that was just such a breakthrough, because I have found at times I have gone along with the ego. It felt, the ego has a way of tricking you sometimes, and it has felt as if it's like it's from spirit. And then when I catch myself and say, was this from spirit? No answer. The ego cannot answer me.
It's a very good reminder of a simple technique, where if something comes to you, you've asked a question and something comes to you, maybe ask 3 times, is this from my truth? Is this from my truth? Is this from my truth? And anything that is not from your truth will do exactly that. It won't respond. It's a top tip from Spirit.
So you see, we are just so connected, and and as you say, if you ask, Spirit will always give you the answer. You will never be left alone. We are just so beautiful, connected. So Helen, what actually gave you the confidence to step into your greatness and do this powerful work that you are doing now?
I think most importantly, that sense of coming home that I felt on that very first day of that training with Dominique. That sense of, here is my place in the world, and the sort of unrivaled sense of peace that I felt, and connectedness that I felt from that. The journey has kind of wound as the path always does, and evolved, and I've had a number of different teachers and mentors. I feel sometimes when ego is kind of there and trying to keep you small, because ego, the confusion sometimes that people understand from the word ego isn't that it's the big I am. It is in fact the opposite. It's the who are you to be brilliant and fantastic and beautiful, that Marianne Williamson says. So I think, where that ego has stepped in, I've been very blessed that the teachers and those who have been around me at that time have simply quietly challenged me and said, but we see you. We see you and we know who you are, and we trust. Do you trust us? Because we know who you are and what you're for. And that's happened a couple of times. I work as a medium on what's called on platform, so in spiritualist churches and in congregation, where I deliver messages from loved ones in spirit to people. And the step up to that platform on the very first time I did it was abjectly terrifying. But that was the ego part. And I think that the question that you asked earlier about how do you know that your truth, how do you know that you're coming from your heart? Because my knowing, which is how I refer to it in these instances, my knowing knew that this is what I was supposed to do at that point in my development. And so having simply nothing with me more than trust in the teacher, in my guides, slightly less in myself, but I kind of went with the rest of the team on it. I just got up and did it. And of course, as you do when you know from that heart place that, this is the thing for you, this is the right thing for you, you just get on and do it.
You just get on and do it. Helen, I could really talk to you for hours. And so how are you doing for time? Can I still keep going with you or not?
I'm absolutely fine for time. I've arranged with Spirit for the noisy external work that's going on outside to hold off a little longer so that I can still hear you.
Oh, how beautiful. Now, I'm getting a sense of the journey, and you are so powerfully in your purpose. So what's the journey that has led you to this part of your purpose?
Well, all of the things that I've spoken about. I think just being I think the spirit just want me to say that, just being. You know, that there have been, I think it's fair to say, quite a number of challenges that I, as everybody else, has gone through. You know, those of us that come to this work particularly don't kind of sail through life. We are not able to have the empathy and the that level of understanding of where someone who needs our support is, if we haven't been there ourselves. So I think it's important to recognize that, while this isn't about me, it isn't about my story, it isn't about, oh yeah, I went through that and I totally get, and then I talk about me. It is about, but it is important that people can feel, and they do feel, you know, they really do feel very, very quickly that you are not just saying words to them, that they should listen and do things because you're telling them something. People, they know, you know. People often say to me, do you think everyone can do what you do? And I genuinely believe that everybody is born with the ability to. And all of us, whether we acknowledge it or otherwise, we all read energy. We all do that. We've all had an experience where we've walked into a room and we've immediately connected with someone, even though we haven't even spoken to them yet. You're drawn to them and you feel a sense of safety or interest or something with them. And conversely, we've all had a sense where something just doesn't feel right at all. You know, so if we listen to that, there's a reason for that. Everybody is able to do that. And I feel that helping people to regain that, it's going back to the trust. How do you trust yourself? It's helping people to step back into that stuff that they automatically do and know, that's really important. You know, I think if you can ask people those questions, have you had a situation where this, or have you had this, then they know and they connect to that. So helping people feel that sense of trust and connection. I've probably gone off completely at a tangent now. Bring me back on track if I need to be.
A big grin on my face, and I'm making so many connections. And when you say just being, and I just want that to resonate with our listeners about just being, because I find at times we can be worrying about the future, we can be worrying about the past, and you know, when I say to people, you know, joyful living, step into your joy in the present, in the now, and life will take care of itself, because we are all beautifully supported, and you know, the universe has got our back. And if we can just trust that, irrespective of how difficult it might appear, that the universe has got our back, and all we need to do is just to keep our energy high with love and gratitude and being, and it works. And you know, and then another thing that brought this big grin on my face when you talked about, you know, us as energy beings, and we've all walked into a room. I remember one situation where I had never met this person before. I was in a seminar, and this particular person walked in, and we both had what I would call an electric bolt. we connected, and later on learning as to why we connected so deeply. So yes, I just love that. And you know, over the years, as you develop and as you show your gratitude and as you step into your greatness, what are the disciplines that you have used to support you to grow into the person you are now? And I suppose in another way I'm asking that question really is about from where you find your inspiration.
Well, I wanted to very quickly just go back to what you said about the universe has our back as well. You know, I think one of the sort of, not really a revelation for me, but just that sense of how much love there is for us, how much encouragement and how much support there is for us from spirit. You know, every single one of us has that and has access to that, and that sense of aloneness that can often pervade where we're less connected and a bit more switched off. You know, that sense of aloneness that we can feel, and I know personally I have felt and experienced myself. You know, I never have that now, because I know that I am unconditionally loved, encouraged and supported by all of those who are on my team in spirit. So not just those that work with me and through me, but the loved ones that have gone into spirit. And I want to make sure that everybody feels and understands how much love there is. But you're right, there's something important about gratitude and that vibration. You know, we it's all about the vibration, keeping that vibration and that energy high, and over the obstacles, you know, the bigger picture, to step back out of it when you hit a challenge, when you hit a block in life, or you hit a painful period, or a sense of isolation, or whatever it is that's challenging you. The important thing that we need to remember is that we have arrived on earth incarnate with a contract to enable our soul being to shift and learn. And I think that's kind of one of the toughest things to get your head around. When I, bless her, when Dominique was first teaching me, you know, I remember her trying to explain this concept to me, that, you know, I'd chosen to come and live some of the stuff, and I went, you are kidding me. There's no way I'd have signed up to come and live through some of this stuff. And yet, you know, she laughed with me and she just sort of said, but you did. And I knew it was true. So we learn the most through those challenges. You know, we shift and expand our soul being and our consciousness raising through almost more through the difficult, challenging bits than we do through simply being in joy every single day. As I said, we don't come to this work without having worked our way through that and understanding that. And I think that's why it's sometimes easier to be in gratitude, in absolute gratitude and in absolute joy, because we know that the challenging stuff is what enables us to be the best version of ourselves that we can be.
Oh, so perfect. You know, not so long ago, I was going through a very difficult patch in my life, and I am almost having a conversation with Spirit and said, you know, if I did sign for this contract, I am.
Yeah, we've all done that.
No, I am ready to give it back. And then I remembered that I came across this quote many moons ago, and it's called the Oath of Manifestation.
Yeah.
And I just got it out and started reading over a number of days. And I'll just, you know it, but I'll share it. And it just says, I accept and receive unexpected good, unexpected money, unexpected love, unexpected kindness, unexpected generosity, unexpected offers, unexpected prosperity coming in unexpected ways from unexpected places in my life and in the lives of others. I am constantly guided and boldly empowered to receive the lavish abundance of the universe. I accept the principle that abundance and prosperity have already been given to me. And that's the beauty. I accept the principle that abundance and prosperity have already been given to me. My acceptance makes it real and opens the space for manifestation to rush in. Open wide the doors of my consciousness to receive and to give. It is done now, and there's more. But the beauty about that is to know, yes, we signed up for this learning, and it is going through being and going through the flow that takes us to a higher level of consciousness. So, sister, I am so grateful for you sharing with us this morning. And I recognize that, you know, your time, I've taken more than the allocated time that I had agreed with you. But I want to thank you. Now, is there a website? Because I know that our listeners may want to connect with you. Is there a website to which they can go to find out more about your work?
There is actually, yes, thank you. It's Hels Nicholas, HELSNICHOLAS, helsnicholas.co.uk. It would be a privilege if anybody wanted to have a further delve, and certainly if anybody wants to contact me if they have any questions or anything that they have current concerns with. But if I may just quickly leave you with then that came through when you were just talking about being open to receiving, and I think one of the keys that enables us to receive is that we allow ourselves to feel worthy. And that is the most important thing for each of us to understand. We are beautiful light. What the life challenges that have presented to us can sometimes do is make us forget that. And the most important part of the work and the most important part of the message that I really want to leave everybody with is that everybody, every soul being is light. Every being comes from love and is love. And every single one is worthy of receiving all of the gifts of joy and beauty and light and peace and abundance and all that can be, because joyful life is what shifts the vibration more than anything else.
Wow. You know, I'd like you to just repeat your website again and do it very slowly, because sometimes people didn't have a pen, or, you know, scramble to find pen and paper. So listeners, wherever you are, I'm going to give you some time to get yourself pencil and paper.
Perfect. Okay, so the website is
no, don't say it yet. No, don't say it yet. Let them get pencil and paper. Time. So I think by now you should have found your paper, and by now the pencil is in your hand. So are you ready to write? I'll ask you 3 times. Are you ready to write? Are you ready to write? Yes, you are ready to write now. I'll tell you again, very slowly, the website.
And you're all ready to receive, remember that. And so the website is www.hellsnicholas.co.uk. HELSNICHOLAS. The reason why I'm Hels Nicholas rather than my full name, Helen Nicholas, is because apparently there's a very talented pianist who is Helen Nicholas. So if you look her up first, that's not me, but she sounds lovely.
Okay, and so Helen, we would like to see you at our Make the News London and invite you to come into our family if it works for you. But you know, just come and for people to see who you are. We are a wonderful group of entrepreneurs who are enabling and supporting each and every one of us to be the very best version of ourselves. And we are not in competition. We are here to get our stories across and open up the beauty and the greatness. So I look forward to seeing you at Make the News London and make the news with us. So thank you for your time. And as you came in, I was talking about the importance of courage. You know, the courage to do what is right, the courage sometimes to go against the crowd, the courage to take a different approach when needed, and the courage to just being and being there with consciousness, courage to live your truth, courage to act on your truth, and courage to live with integrity. And as we have had this conversation, I just like to remind people of a quote, Ambrose Redmond, who actually says, courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than the fear. And you so beautifully remind us to remember that we are connected, we're connected in spirit. And I can hear the beautiful birds in my ash tree outside really singing their orchestral sing.
I can hear them too. It's absolutely beautiful. So one of the simplest things, just that beauty of bird song, and they've been fully listening and very attentive all along, and they're just saying thank you as well.
Yes, it's so wonderful. So dear sister, soul sister, peace be with you, and thank you to you, your guide, and all your connected loved ones.
Bless you, Neslyn. Thank you so much. It really has been a joy, and thank you for your invitation. I'd be delighted to accept.
Well, thank Marina and Dari. They are the owners of Radio Works World. I host the Passion Show, and it is their courage, their passion, and their dedication that really makes this possible. So from my heart, thank you to Marina, thank you to Dari, who are co-owners of Radio Works World. Peace be with everyone.
Thank you both, and thank you for the opportunity to share with you this morning. Bless you.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.